Cheers!
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Coffee with Hiretual. My name is Winona, and I'm the content marketing specialist at Hiretual, as well as the producer of this YouTube series. Here we are, episode 2 of season 2 of Coffee with Hiretual, and we have our amazing guest here, Theresa Nordstrom. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I am awesome. And yourself?
Yes, I'm doing great. I'm super excited to get this episode going. We have a really fun discussion, a couple questions that Theresa's super excited to answer. So let's get right into it. So first off, I'm going to let Theresa introduce herself. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Theresa, and what you're passionate about when it comes to recruiting and HR.
Awesome. Well, I'm passionate about a lot, so I don't think we have enough time for all that. But so I'm an HR professional with 20 plus years from private equity, helping sell a private equity company to Fortune 100 companies. And I was HR in the business, but actually there's one thing that I did in all my businesses, and it was really around talent. And I helped them solve the talent challenges. So about 5 years ago, I went up on my own and I built a company really about helping companies, attract the best talent through different methods. So I'm really big on candidate attraction through recruitment marketing, and really about helping companies tell their stories so it impacts their bottom line, employer referral, and employer branding. Like, what is the story that you're telling your outside market? And that's how I got to know Nin, and I'm actually on the Hiretual Council, and we've done a project around employer referral, and I actually use the product. And so that's how I got to know the company. And right now, one of the things I'm working on that I'm very, very passionate about is impacting how companies can, change the mindset of how they recruit and fill the top of the line from a diversity talent pool, because I really believe some of the ingrained ways that we look at top talent have impacted the diversity talent that they are missing. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Mm-hmm. All right, perfect. And you mentioned that you're passionate about helping companies impact their bottom line, and just overall raising the quality of HR, raising the TA game. And so I know a couple things that you're big on when it comes to recruiting is you're big on employer branding, making sure that recruiting teams get it right when it comes to their messaging, their job postings. So it's been a crazy year. What are some of the things that you've been seeing this year, and how recruiting teams have managed to successfully or unsuccessfully pivot their employer branding strategy? Really, what have you seen in this space? Just any interesting stories that you can give us from this question as well.
Yeah. What's interesting is I actually feel like employer branding is actually coming out of the woodwork this year, and becoming more of a topic, because one, obviously, with millions of people that are looking for work. So one thing is, I think over the last 7-8 years of success of companies, they've done a really good job from an employer branding of once candidates get to them. So they have their websites that are awesome, and they have the videos all online. But here's what employers are not doing. And, it's called recruitment marketing. Internally, they do this. But what I don't see them doing a good job is, you go look on any website and all the job descriptions are boring. And what they do is they start off with this company intro that is like all about the company, but it's not very humanized. And if you go on LinkedIn, recruiters are being thrown on the bus, but they're not really telling the story in a way that is really enticing to the company or enticing to the employee and such. So I think that's one thing is that they do a good job once the candidate gets to the company, but not necessarily attracting them to the company, which you think we would have figured out over the last 7 years. So I think that is a big thing. I have found that the progressive companies do a really good job on niche job sites. Like Built In is this awesome like startup type company, and those job descriptions are awesome there. So I don't think they're telling their candidate stories. I think the other thing is that the recruiting world is kind of the redheaded stepchild. Not a lot of HR professionals love recruiting, and so they've outsourced a ton in the last 7 years. They spend millions of dollars, and that I think that they are now kind of going, hey, we've kind of cut so many recruiting jobs, and so I think there's some work to be done there.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And like you're saying, we've seen a lot of recruiting departments been cut. I think it's kind of funny that all of this is happening at the same time that hiring teams are seeing more applicants to their job ads. And another big problem that we're seeing is that recruiting departments are being cut, candidate numbers are going up, many of these candidates aren't exactly the right fit. And, I think what we've been seeing on LinkedIn, on social media, just in the general talent acquisition space, is just a lot of frustration. A lot of people are frustrated, candidates and recruiters alike. And what do you think about this? Do you agree that there's this kind of bubbling frustration because of these discrepancies that are just going against each other?
I know. Honestly, it's hard for me to see. It actually saddens me because the recruiting industry is just under fire. So it's absolutely true. I actually talked to a peer last week. She's actually been laid off. She's looking for work right now. She talked to people in the recruiting industry. This gives me the goosebumps. She said that those recruiters are actually being able to look at less than 10% of the resumes that they are actually getting. So I think the question is, so are all those people unqualified for those jobs? So why is that, right? That's a big thing out there, because I actually did this survey on LinkedIn, and it said, so are the people really not qualified? Because let's be honest, does everyone not qualified out there that's applying? Are you inundated? Do you just not have the time to go through people? Because that's what people are complaining about, is like, why the heck aren't you responding to me type thing. And people were saying that candidates were not qualified. That was like, I think, gosh, I'd have to go back. I think 35 or 40% of recruiters were saying the candidates weren't qualified.
I suppose in an ideal world, what is the support that these recruiters should be getting from their businesses to make sure that the end-to-end process, like you mentioned, is productive, is adaptable to these different changes in the market, and that most importantly, it actually captures the necessary candidates that an organization needs. I think a big thing that we're seeing right now is everyone's just pretty scattered, I would say, and leaders aren't exactly helping recruiting teams get over this scattered mindset. So what do you think are the main things, or like, I guess the quick 3 things that leaders and teams should be focusing on for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the HR leader, whoever that is, I don't know if it's the head of talent acquisition, kind of depends on your company. One is realistically looking at, can this person, are they doing onboarding? Are they doing recruiting? Are they doing full cycle recruiting? I mean, can they really do it all? So that's one thing. But I think that HR leader, that talent acquisition leader, really needs to build a plan around recruiting. And you know what? They may not understand it, because very few HR leaders like talent acquisition. And I will go up against anyone on that. They say they like talent acquisition. BS, they don't. But so I think that's one thing and if they don't have the support, that HR leader, talent acquisition leader, needs to build a business plan for their leaders on why they need support. And by the way, diversity right now is your ticket right in. I mean, I actually just posted today, there are 370,000 jobs with diversity in the title on LinkedIn in the US right now. Literally 180,000 have been posted in the last month. So with that being said, I would focus on that potentially as a thing, because right now that is staring your executives in the face, is diversity. So one thing I would do, as I was an HR leader, is I would go, okay, what's my talent pool look like, and how does recruiting impact that? And I would build a business plan around that. And at the end of the day, I would help them problem solve versus just say, fill these jobs, because I don't know, and prioritize. So problem solve and prioritize. I had a friend that had 80 jobs open last year, and she was doing onboarding and all this. I mean, honestly, she just started calling a recruiter, because you know what? She couldn't do it on her own. So, but prioritize. You got to help people prioritize on jobs, because those jobs really don't all need to be filled. If they do, then one recruiter isn't going to fill them all, depending on what jobs they are.
We've covered a lot of different things today, and we're running out of time. So I have one final question to kind of wrap it all up. So we covered lots of different things. We talked about, making sure that job descriptions are targeted. We talked about, how leaders can better support recruiters. We talked about the candidate experience. So what are any last words of advice you have to recruiters out there who are a little bit nervous about ending 2020 on a strong note?
Well, I mean, honestly, I feel like it kind of goes back to, the biggest thing you can do if you are overwhelmed right now is really do dial in on what you truly, truly want. And I think that's the biggest thing. And find someone that is going to help you, whether that's internally or externally. And there are a couple really good sites that, there's Facebook has a couple really good groups, but, look and build a business plan around what are the company goals. You guys have got to talk business and not just recruiting. How do you tie the talent to the business? What does the business need? What goals are they going to miss if they don't have the talent? What are the opportunity loss costs, right? And you need to engage your HR team and your leader team and tie it to your employer brand. So because we're going to get through COVID and some of these brands are being just, people are going to they're going to throw them all on the bus. I can't believe people on Glassdoor and that these are going to come back through on Glassdoor, but ultimately you really got to build a business plan and go to your leaders. I've never been turned down on asking for more talent because I've tied it to the business.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Theresa. It's been such a great discussion today. Thank you for, spilling your thoughts, sharing your experiences. If our viewers have any questions for you after this episode, what are some of the best places that they can reach you at?
Yeah, I'm very active on LinkedIn. So of course it's Theresa Nordstrom, just find me there quickly. Otherwise, my company is Talent Co. Inc. So it's talent, then COINC.com. Otherwise, those are the main two places. I do have a Facebook account, a little bit of Twitter. I don't really Twitter. But at LinkedIn, I'm extremely active and I'm a big video person. So find me there. I do have a YouTube account too. I'm going to do more there, but yeah. So.
Theresa is a big video person, so everyone should.
I do. I'm going to do lives here soon. I just found out I had live. I didn't know it on LinkedIn. So yeah, if you want to have some really good engaging conversation, hit me up. We'll talk.
All right.
I welcome it.
Have a wonderful day, Theresa. Thank you.
Hey, thanks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.